morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, hello and a big welcome. If you like the content here, I would appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button. My video today is because of a suggestion from one of my subscribers. Hello, Patty. She had asked if I would just do a video on some organizing and some suggestions. She had just kind of asked, what does everybody do during the winter as far as hobbies and things like that. So I thought, that's a great topic. Now, for those of you that live in the north, eastern portion of our country, or where you just get a whole lot of snow, like in the Midwest, up through Wisconsin and Minnesota, maybe winter isn't your favorite time of year, but I love winter. Of course, I like the fact that I don't have to get out in it on a daily basis because I am, living in the South right now. But there's just something that is so serene about a new snowfall, and something that feels clean and fresh, and it always gives me that opportunity when I was living in the up north and in the Midwest to just regroup and spend the time mostly inside. I am a homebody. I love to be at home. I love to take care of my home, even though I am in retirement, and my child is grown and gone and has his own family. I'm still a grandma, I'm still a wife, and I still love being a housewife and being at home. I find that I'm busy all the time, all day long. Plus, I am a caregiver right now for my mom who lives with me. So, the winter in the state of Alabama is quite a bit different than what I'm used to. There's a lot of rain, which brings a lot of humidity, and I do miss that fresh snow fall, and I do miss when there's like a good foot of snow outside and it's just covered and everything is so just so pretty. And of course, with that prettiness, then later on comes warming up and slush and yucky looking streets, and but I just love it. The very first year that we moved to Illinois from Texas, we had a neighbor next door, and her name was Mrs. Noble, and I loved her. She was, oh my goodness, I think when we moved in, she was very close to 90. She was still driving. She got dressed every single morning. She was just like an elderly June Cleaver. She would do her hair and dress up and wear her little pearl necklace, and she was just a beautiful person, and I became very fond of her. Sometimes she would call and say, "Send the boy over, I've made cookies." So I'd send my son over, and she'd give him a plate full of some homemade cookies that she made. And one morning she called and she said, "Do you see the beautiful lace artwork that God left you on your window today?" And it was like really cold out, freezing, and it just had frosted heavy all over, because it was one of those where the temperature, it had rained and it was a little bit warmer for the area, and the temperature then drastically dropped, and as it was dropping there was like a lot of snow that came, and then it just all frosted over. And then of course, when I looked out my kitchen window as I was talking to her on the phone, I said, "Oh my goodness, I never looked at that as being God's lace curtains." And she goes, "Isn't it just magnificent?" And so every time I look at a window that has some sort of a frost on it, I look at that and I always remember that. And that was probably something that was said about 30 some years ago. So it just, and so every time, as I've said, when we were living in the state there, and we were in Illinois for about 23 years, every time that would occur and there would be that pretty design frost that would just attach to your window, I always thought of her calling and saying, do you see the beautiful artwork that God placed on your window today? And I just love that, so I thought I'd share that with you. So in the winter, I like to do certain hobbies. I have certain hobbies, certain activities, but mostly it especially comes right after the holiday Christmas season, and I like to regroup and just go through the house and do clean out. I don't necessarily start doing deep cleaning then. I wait until the weather gets better to where I can really open up doors and windows, and I'm not really going to do it right now because we are in winter and we do get a whole lot of rain, and why am I going to go kill myself washing windows inside and out? I did wash some windows on the front of the porch the other day and they needed it, but I don't do that kind of stuff until the spring. So I like to go around the house and I like to organize, regroup things, clear down the clutter, because it seems like from the fall all through the holiday seasons there's just stuff that you just accumulate, and you're of course transitioning from fall to winter, and you're changing out clothing, and so now okay, I can wear this, I can't wear this, and so I just get that nesting sense, and I just want to start and go. So I'm just going to give you a couple of tips of what I do and how I start to get things organized. So for example, when I am organizing, now sometimes I will tackle a whole room and a specific area, but when I'm doing this at the beginning of the year, I am basically take 2 boxes or a laundry basket and carry it with me, and then a second box, and one box is, I'm not quite sure I want to part with this, I'm just trying to clear and scale down, and another is to pitch, I'm getting rid of, I'm donating, it's going. And let me just interject. Yesterday I'm going to show you a little clip at the end of this. I'm pretty sure I'll just put it at the end. I had errands to run yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a little bit of a me day. I had to go and get my hair done, and it was my 8-week trim period, and after that I had to go to the eye doctor because I had 2 frames that I broke one, and one had to have some repair done, so I had to do that, and then I had 2 or 3 bags for drop off at the Goodwill, and I was so happy when I got to the Goodwill. I was like the 6th car waiting for them to come and get the stuff out, because they were busy and people are all doing the same thing. You're clearing out from clutter, you're taking your kids' toys and regrouping everything, and it's really a good time of year, and it just made me feel good to see that those donations are there. And let me tell you, some of the stuff I saw that was being donated, I'm thinking, whew, that is some nice stuff. Might have to just, go into the store and peruse the store if I'm looking for something. And so one of my little dilemmas yesterday was I was going to be in the little downtown area that I love, and they have all these boutiques, and I love to just walk around, and it's so pretty and quaint, and just, grab a cup of coffee. But I just knew, nope, starting the year off, don't need to be tempted right now. I've been making a list as I go of some things that I need, that I know I need just because of my weight loss, and like some unmentionables and things like that that I do have to replace. And so as I look at my budget and look at, okay, what are my needs, then that's when I'll get them. But so I avoided that and treated myself to a pedicure. And I almost felt bad for the girl that had to do my pedicure. I haven't been since, honestly, I think it was the end of September. Somewhere around that. I do little pedicures for myself, but of course they're not as good as what you can get when you go. And I said, I apologize, because these dogs are barking and they need it. And she just smiled and went about her business and did such a great job. And I loved it, and I treated myself, and I got away, and I had that hour to just sit in that chair and let it massage my back and my neck. And that was my treat. That's what enticed me to don't get tempted to go to the downtown area. Get away from it. Go get a pedicure. It's okay to do that. And then I went about my business, stopped at the eye doctor, got everything taken care of there, and then I came home. And I spent the rest of the afternoon and the evening with my granddaughter, and she spent the night with me, and we had a great time. So, it's possible to make these commitments at the beginning of the year and stick to them. So, back to what I want to talk about. So, I like to do certain things during the winter, hobby-wise, also, that I don't necessarily do all year round. But, for example, I have been going through the house every day, and not all day, but every day I have been designating an allotment of time to say, okay, I want to work on these 2 shelves right here, and I want to scan. How can I clear the clutter? I donated, probably about 10 books to Goodwill that I have already read. Some were, like those nice, good, refreshing mystery stories. Some were self-help books. Some were some devotionals that I have a lot of, and I have my favorites of. And these are books that, according to, trying to structure my house Marie style, I'm not going to read those books again. And I know that they were great books, and some of them I took notes in, and anything that I really needed to keep, I recorded. And so, all of a sudden I looked and I thought, did I not hit the record button? Okay, but I'm going to keep it in here because it's real. Anyway, some of those I'm not going to use again, so they donated. So I take these 2 bookshelves, and then I take everything off, and then I give it a nice polish and clean, and I just start putting the books back. And then one at a time, I put the little trinkets that I want to keep, and ones that I'm like, I'm not sure I'm ready to part with this right now, I just put in that quite not sure about box. And if I don't think about those items, or come back to those items, or look at the bookshelf and go, oh, I miss seeing my little antique whatever there, then I'll retrieve it from that. So I will take it from the box and put it into a plastic bin with a lid. And if I don't use it over the 6-month period, or whenever I'm recleaning some of the stash out in the garage, then it's going to get donated. So that's one of the things I do. And I do the same thing for drawers. Now this happens to be one of my makeup drawers, and it's organized with my powders. See guys, this is why I'm on a no buy. I have so many powders, but I'm a powder girl. I love powders. So what I've done is, then these pretty much are all powders that at this point I am keeping, and a couple of these I will go through and I will pass down to others that I know also use powders and will use this up. Not very much in here, but a couple of things. So, like, for example, I love this Coty Airspun powder. I really do. I like the way it feels. I like how it's milled. I think it's really nice on your skin. And but I'll tell you, when I have allergies that are bothering me, and just irritated with it, I have to kind of stay away because it's heavily scented, and some people just don't like that, but I do, because it reminds me of all those old great aunts that I had, and my grandma, and the women at church when I was growing up. It's that scent, and I love that, and I love that memory, and I love the product. So it just might be a powder that I do keep, and maybe I don't use every day, but I still use. And then I organize the drawer. So I might pick like maybe 2 or 3 drawers to go through at a time when I'm doing this yearly scaling down decluttering. And not necessarily just go, okay, I'm coming into this area of my vanity room and I am just going to declutter everything. That can get so overwhelming. And since I've just recently put this together within the last year and then did some reorganizing, I don't feel the need for that. But I'm starting to go through my drawers. I'm committed to no buy makeup this year and use what I have. Now, some of the products, I will share with you. That was a mess. You can see, like for this powder, I have really almost gotten to hitting pan on it, and I don't feel it's necessary not to use it or to pitch it. I love this. This is a powder by Tarte, so why not use it? And so what I'll do is, like I said, I have a couple in here that I may pass on, but right now I'm just reorganizing and regrouping the drawers so I can, get through them. And then what I do is I just keep a little box in my vanity room and I add to it, and then those are the things that I'll pass down. I'll sometimes check with my daughter-in-law and see, is there anything you want here, or, my goddaughter, and just let them kind of go through that and see, well, yes, I can use this, no, I can't. And so that's one of the things that I do, and I will eventually get through, like, all of my vanity drawers. Like right now, I have this little basket. Haven't gotten through it yet, but what I have in here are all of my undercover stuff. Like this is my Charlotte Tilbury, which is super nice. Almost done with it. Committed to using it up. This, I don't know how long that's going to take. It's the Tarte Undercover Eye. A dot of it goes a long way. So I'll keep it and I will use it until it's gone. Some things, like, I'm just going through this now and showing you, this would go into the little box to donate, pass on, and this is I think it's Milani, yes, and it's okay. It wasn't anything that is great, and I just don't feel the need to keep using it. I think it settled too much onto my skin and it was a little bit heavier than I thought. And so that's what I will do, and then that will get me through cleaning up the basket. And then I also put little sample size items in here that I want to just go ahead and use up once my bigger stuff is gone. So I will go through all of my drawers, and like I said, I designate a portion of the day to say, okay, you've got an hour and a half. What do you think you can get done in that hour and a half of time to go through some drawers? And if it's simple, I'll pick, okay, go in your vanity and do that. If it's a bigger project, then I wait until I know I'm going to have more time to do that. So that's how I kind of go through and reorganize. Now, when I'm doing something like the pantry, I'm going to do the entire pantry, and I have done that already twice, reorganizing and regrouping things in the last year or so, and I just did quick clean through after the holidays. Went through a lot of stuff and just kind of reorganized it, because there again, that room can become a pantry. I mean, a catch-all. And you know, it's freeing. It just feels so good. Like when you can open a drawer and the drawer isn't screaming at you. Now, this drawer I can't pull out, and I need to get like a little container to reorganize it, but I'm going to just show you some of what I have loose inside. And see, I need to go through these because I've got some eye pencils and things I'm not using. I know that. Those I will just probably dispose of, and the rest just needs to be regrouped, reorganized, and I keep like my tweezers, scissors, things like that in this drawer handy, with a magnifying mirror that I need, and just some lip liners and things. So I just need a little basket to put them in so they're contained better. But that's what I will do, and I will eventually get through all of the drawers that I have. Now, last week I spent time doing these bins here, and I regrouped and reorganized them, and this happens to be my brush bin, and I have my favorite brushes in here, and I know I could have, you know, gotten rid of a few of my favorites, but I didn't, and I'll tell you why. For example, I had just talked about this not too long ago. It's a teasing brush, teasing comb, whatever you want to say, and I have this. This is a very good one, but this thing is like the bomb. I love it. I've demonstrated it. It does such a nice job, and honestly, when I'm using it and I spray my hair because I want it to stay, it is just like super nice. I can't even see what I'm doing here, but and I just you know, got out of the shower, dried my hair with my Revlon volumizer that I absolutely love, and didn't do anything else. So this is awesome, and it really could replace this brush, but I'm just not ready to do that right now because this is still a good brush, and you know, sometimes it's nice to keep something like this. Since I'm always in my vanity area, it's kind of nice to keep like maybe something a little extra in you know, a travel bag or something, or you know, just in the bathroom. So I did go through my bins in here, and I got that part done. I organized my jewelry box and cleaned a few of my necklaces and things that I have that are out, and I keep them out for easy access, but I clean through them because you know, they do get powdery and dusty in here, and I just, you know, cleaned through my jewelry box, got rid of a couple of pair of earrings that I know I'm not wearing, donating them, and just spent an hour doing that. And that also goes towards cleaning, clearing, and just decluttering. And so eventually I'll get through this whole area, and it will be, you know, in, I guess you could say, in the shape that I want it to be in. Another thing that I do during this season, this is a great time of year to catch up on reading. Now, I have 2 or 3 books already lined up that I purchased throughout the summer and fall. I know I'm not going to get to read all of that, you know, at one time, but it's like that's what I want to have for the fall, for the winter season, because that's when I do a lot more reading. I read all the time, so I always have a book that I'm reading, but when I really like to, you know, really get it going, I just read and read. Right now I'm reading this. It's called, it's by A. Kaufman, and it's called Amish Christmas Collection, A Plain and Simple Christmas, and Naomi's Gift. I love reading these stories. I've been reading them for years and years and years, and probably because I was, brought up and raised in Ohio, where Amish communities, were something that we always visited. I was very familiar with Amish areas in Indiana and Ohio, and just Illinois. We just had them there, and I just always have been very interested and love all of the books that I read, and these are not true stories, but they're just great heartwarming stories, and I love how they're written. So I have a huge collection of them, and I do pick up several during this time of year, and I love to read them. They're clean reading, they're easy to read, they're enduring, and there's always a message, I think, that speaks to me spiritually, and I love it. So that's something that occupies my time. Another thing that occupies my time that I love to do, I don't do a whole lot of this because I'm not real good at it, but I do like to get the sewing machine out periodically, and I tend to do the sewing. It seems like I do some projects, and sometimes I do them in the summer because that just seems to be the time that if I'm going to work on something, I'm going to do more sewing then. But I like to do like some little quick projects, and here's a quick little project for you. Even if you don't think I can't sew, but you have a sewing machine, trust me, you can do this. This is a rice bag heating. And yes, I do stick this in the microwave, and some of you might think that's crazy, sticking, material item in the microwave. But let me tell you, with that rice inside, a minute or so, minute and 20 seconds, it just warms it. And if your hands are cold or you're not feeling well, it just acts like a heating pad. And, it kind of smells like, I have rice in here. And it just smells like, what's cooking in the microwave, and has that cross between cooked rice and popcorn. But anyways, this is a placemat, and I got the placemat at Walmart. It's one whole placemat. It's not cut. And what I did was I went ahead and ran a stitch. I'm going to try to see. Yep. I just ran a stitch, folded it in half, and all the way around the perimeter, left an opening, filled it with the rice, and then closed this up on my sewing machine. I've had this. I made a bunch of these, of course, when we were living in Illinois, and I use it like a lot. We've had them in our house for years. I think my mom made me my very first one years and years ago, and I used it so much, even in the microwave, that you could see it had burn marks. I think this one might have a little burn mark in it because, oh yeah, it sure does, like right there, huh? Because I had it on too long, but they do work. They're great. I love them. So, it's just, and sometimes, my hands get so cold that they hurt, and it just is nice to snuggle up on the couch, watch a movie, and just hold this. So there's a little cute project, and they do make great gifts. And believe it or not, sometimes if you have like a headache or a neck ache, that warmth on the back of your neck just feels great. And I've made these for guys too, and they really like them. So that's a quick project to work on. If you're wanting to, do something for the winter months. And if you're not a reader, something that I started this year that I'm really having fun doing, and it's not a big deal, but it's just, I picked up a book, a writing book, one that has just lines in it, and I want it to be my vision journal, grateful book or whatever. And so I just started at the beginning of January, and I just try to write something every day in it. And I have gone through the book, and you can see I've just cut out and quickly glued some things that I find in magazines, advertisements that I see around the house, and just clip them and randomly stick them in the book. And I just want to be able to see, okay, where am I when I get to this point in the book? And one of the things I'm trying to focus on this year is taking better care of my skin and hair. I saw a little note about taking a collagen supplement, and so I actually started doing that. I bought some powder collagen. It's good for your nails, your hair, your skin, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that. Well, I saw a note, I put it in my book as a reminder, and I thought next time I go to the store, I'm going to look into that. And you know, I clipped this picture here because I looked at the beauty of that animal and thought, you know, those spots on that particular leopard look gorgeous and beautiful, but I don't want those spots on me because I do have aging spots. I do have sunspots, and it's a reminder, protect your skin with sun protection. So it's just things like that, and I have been enjoying, I'll just kind of flip through and show you. Some pages are just blank because as I go along, I am just randomly sticking pictures, words, things that just strike me, and I'm going to fill this book. And it's really something that I do in the mornings after I do my devotion. This is my page where I did stuff, and you know, just write down. I'm so blessed, so grateful for all of my stuff, and I want to be better at taking care of and being appreciative, and you know, not just accumulating stuff for the sake of accumulating. So I kind of want to be able to get out more this year and do more outside walking, maybe a little planting, gardening, and not shy away from being outside. So I clipped a very pretty picture of a swing on trees, and you know, that just struck me as being very peaceful, and you know, creating that for myself even here at home is a possibility. And you know, this kind of struck me. I saw this in some magazine. It said past and forward, and I thought, what a great reminder to leave the past in the past and move forward. Not that you have to forget memories. That's why we have memories, that we want, if we want to treasure them and keep them. But if we've come across a difficult time in our life, we have to get past it, and it's a good reminder, move forward. Because if you're not moving forward, you're either stuck where you're at or you're regressing. And then I even put, well, what's my dream? I want to travel to Europe someday. France, Italy, you know, those places. And so I saw this picture, and it said there's nothing like April in Paris. Well, I decided, you know, for a treat in April, especially since hopefully I will be at my goal weight, I can treat myself to one of these sweet indulgences and stop for a cup of coffee somewhere and make my own Paris. So it's just all what's in your head. It's all what's in your mind. It's all what you make of it. And so I am enjoying doing this vision book. And it's kind of just mindless to a point, but it's relaxing. And with the relaxing part of it, it's something that I just look forward to doing every morning. And the next thing is I do daily use a planner. And this happens to be an Erin Condren daily planner. It's the soft planner. I have used the hard books for probably the last 6 years because that's how long I've been using her planners. But the last year and this year I have just gone with the soft planner. I happen to like it. It suits me. I'm no longer working where I needed more planning with the harder books, but I just love this. This happens to be from December, and what I was going to show you is I like to decorate my planners. Now, you know, this was a big craze years ago with planners and stickers and washi tape, and I still use those stickers and washi tape. And I think when you plan and create, it just kind of brings out your own creativity, and it makes you want to look at things and write them down and use your planners, and it's like your own personal little assistant. Now, I haven't planned out, decorated, like this is what I did for the month of October, and used these fun little pumpkins and just different things like that. And I don't put everything in a month's glance, because a lot of times I just fill the page with whatever it is that I need for that day. And you know, it's just, some people do everything on their phones. I'm not like that. I want to see it, look at it, read it, and I definitely want those things that are reminders to me that I want to do every day. And I like the part of writing and going through and checking things off. This is another kind of, you know what, it's just relaxing. You don't have to think through it. I mean, you can put whatever combination of a washi tape you want on, you know, in certain areas, and just decorate as you see fit. It's just one of those things that just, when you look at the page, it just kind of, I'm trying to block some of this stuff, it just kind of brings out your own creativity. And it's not anything that you have to be so concerned about interruptions. You can just pick it up anytime. And so I'm going to spend some of today decorating my month for the rest of January and February. These books are in 3-month increments. Like this goes from October to December, and so it's kind of nice to just go through and do your whole book. You can just do it a page at a time, but I like to just sit down and just do it. It's just, and then I'll work on it for a week or so until I get the whole book done. But it's just relaxing. You know, things don't have to always be like these big, huge projects, and that's where I think we get bored. And you know, we think, I hate winter, I just don't like it, there's not enough for me to do. But I happen to be someone who always can find something to do. And as I said, this is my current planner, and I have not started decorating it, but I will. And you know, it's just one of those things that I enjoy doing. And like I said, sometimes just having that mindless thing to do, it's kind of nice. If you're a movie buff, it's a great time to watch some of your repeat movies that you love that maybe are long, or a series. And right now I am also watching Netflix series of Designated Survivor. I didn't see it when it was on TV a few years ago, so I'm watching the entire series. It's great. I love it. And that's when I'll sit down with my planner, put on the next episode of Designated Survivor, and just kind of plan through my week or my finish off my day or the next day, kind of look at what do I already have scheduled or planned, what is it that I need to do, or even decorate. So, you know, that to me is something that I like to do. It's kind of busy work, but it's peaceful busy work, and I think that's important. And I like to be in the kitchen cooking and baking. That's very relaxing for me, but right now that's really not something that I want to do unless it's a holiday time coming up, and just to have that stuff around the house is like, no, for me. Oh, I do have one more. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. Here we go. This is crocheting or knitting, and this is something that I do in the winter all the time. A lot of times I start in the fall. This year I didn't do a whole lot, but I am currently putting the border on this particular white lacy scarf that I made, and I'm going to get it finished this year. I started this last year, so I am going to get this finished, and I like working on these kinds of projects. Sometimes you get bored with things because I think you feel like I got to make something big and grandiose, and then that costs a lot of money to get started. No, you can make something light and small. And I love this because this particular yarn is called Beehive Baby Sport. It's really a nice weight. It's perfect for down here, and sometimes just when you go into a restaurant, it's just kind of nice to have something around your neck, and it's so just soft. I mean, it's super soft, and so I want to get this finished. And you know, it doesn't have to be a project for yourself. You know, in the winter, think about, you know what, I think I'll make 4 of these, and then I've got 4 people in mind that I can give a gift to for next Christmas, or just, you know, whatever. Just, I was thinking about you and I made this, and so if it's not for you, or if you think I don't really need another, well, maybe you can make it for someone else, and that's a project to work on. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and until my next video, be kind, be humble, and age gracefully. Bye.